Yes, welcome back from that very short break. Of course, you're from entertainment and sports, and right now we are going to our segment of Business Insight. And of course, it's that hour. And of course, I have a guest with me here in studio, and we're going to be looking at our topic of the day, where we're going to be looking at the expenditure of Ugandans during the festive seasons, with entertainment and everything else that goes around that during the festive season. And right now, I have a guest with me in the studio. Good morning, sir. Could you please introduce yourself to the viewers and tell them who you are?
Good morning. How are you? My name is Geoffrey Ekongoti. I am the Programs Director at the Ugandan Musicians Association, and I'm also a music industry consultant.
Okay.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, you're welcome to Smart TV.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, today I asked you to come to the studio so we can talk more about the music industry and mostly even the movie industry, because you know, as Ugandans, we're evolving in entertainment. We're going to be looking at it, mostly looking at the festive season, December, how it is. How it used to be back in the day and how it is today. So in your own view, when you look at the entertainment industry in Uganda, how it used to be 5 to 10 years back and now how it is today, what difference do you see there?
10 years back, obviously, technology wasn't at the same level as it is now.
Yes.
For example, equipment was still very expensive. That means there were fewer events companies, and also the level of support for the industry in terms of the fan base. The numbers were not as high as they are right now. So there's been a general increase in access to equipment, and also because of increased access to equipment, also this has increased the volume of content that's being churned out and created more choices for the fans. The fans now have also increased, and the loyalty towards the content being generated has also increased. This has accelerated the growth of the entertainment industry.
Yes.
So now we have way more concerts than there were before because of that, and partly due to as the technology becomes much easier, the prices for equipment also goes down, and venues have also increased. Yeah. And this is also, you know, giving more options to organizers, creating more opportunity for more events to happen. Okay. So generally, the industry has grown much more from the last 10 years.
So it's getting better with time.
Yes.
Yes.
And even the quality of the productions has really increased. For example, when you look at stage, in the past there were things that we used to just dream about from the US, from Europe, yes. And they were really out of range in terms of affordability. But today, the Chinese have demystified these things and made them accessible. So Ugandans and Ugandan entertainment entrepreneurs can now afford most of this equipment and give the same experience as on a world-class level.
Okay. So when you look at these seasonal events that we actually have, because you know during December, most of the musicians tend to have so many invites to different areas. You can find one poster has like 10 of them, and you find that one musician has to go to like more than 10 places in one day to perform on that particular time. So do these seasonal events have any economic impact on the country?
Most definitely. The script tends to repeat itself. Lots of bookings at the same time, and then artists struggling to balance the boat. Mm-hmm. So peak season is definitely the festive season for the entertainment industry, and they struggle to try and take as much as they can before we get back to the low season.
Yes.
So we've seen lots of challenges when it comes to the artists trying to beat the delivery on their commitments.
Yes.
And we've actually been, for us as the Uganda Musicians Association, we've been issuing warnings. Last year we did one in partnership with the Uganda Police, trying to encourage artists to think outside the original, the usual box. The usual box is take as many bookings as I can and get paid as much as possible. But obviously, as a human being, you can only be in one place at a time. You can't clone yourself. So the right thing to do is to instead increase your, create a premium for your bookings so that you can charge more for fewer bookings, and also from the side of the promoters.
Yes.
It makes sense for them to collaborate and agree what makes business sense, because if you have too many concerts, say in the same neighborhood or same areas, there's a very high chance that there's not enough funds to fill all the venues at the same time.
Yes.
And sometimes also there's an overlap in terms of fan base. So you find that as a fan, maybe I'm interested in this artist, but and then also the other artists. Now, if related artists are in the same space, then as a fan you are confused. You don't know. You have to choose one place, because you can also only be in one place at a time.
Yes.
So in the end, even when it's peak season, you find concerts sometimes tend to flop, and the promoters lose money. I could say from the government side, yeah, they still cash in because people still spend money to go to all these events. But from a business point of view, it doesn't make sense. It's just why right now a lot of promoters are trying to bundle into associations and work together more closely, because they've realized there is a need for interdependence. So that it's not this kind of blind competition that drives very bad decisions. So that we can manage this sort of peak season much more effectively.
Yes. Okay. So the entertainment industry, how does it exactly impact the economy of the country? How does it contribute in any way?
So entertainment is more of an accelerator for the economy. So there are things that directly impact the economy, and then there are things that drive the impacting of the economy.
Yes.
Now, entertainment is one of those. If you look at, say, the 10 top taxpayers, 5 of the top 10 breweries, telecoms, the beverage companies, and if you look at starting with the telecoms. About 20 years ago, when they just came into our market, the driving force was voice. But now, today, times have changed. It's data now, and data consumption is driven by content. And 70% of the content is music, comedy, and that sort of stuff. Yes. So you find that the local entertainment economy is the one that is driving the consumption of these types of content, and in the process, really the one contributing to all this revenue. So and the same thing happens to the other tiers, like the breweries and the liquor companies. Basically, there's hardly any liquor you can sell in the country without music. Yes. So music is the backdrop to alcohol sales. Yes. Yeah, you can't sell, you can't run a bar. In fact, we've had an experiment in Uganda where there was an attempt to create a radio where there was no music. We all remember what that was, KFM. Yeah. The original debut was about only talking. Okay. And the concept was that, yeah, we can talk all through, but we know that failed. Yeah. And we know what happened after. They realized that experiment didn't work, and they had to get back to the basic template, which is music as a backdrop to everything. It doesn't work. Music must be there, and generally entertainment, it drives the consumption of beverages. You can sell soda at a party without the music. You can't sell soda pretty much anywhere. The same with alcohol and data. So yes, the entertainment industry is heavily impacting the growth of the economy, because all the core sectors that are shaping the economy are being powered by the entertainment industry. But also the entertainment industry directly on its own has a lot of potential. I mean, everybody knows it takes a long time before you can move a coffee bean from your farm to a shelf, say, in New York. But a song could be recorded today in a studio, and it could be in New York the same moment, same day, in minutes. So the entertainment industry, that means, has potential to grow much faster and it's already doing that with on its own.
Yes.
Yeah, so that for us who are in the industry, that's why we are trying to really push to ensure that it's supported, and so that it can even move much faster.
Okay, thank you so much. So when it comes to events, the seasonal events, the entertainment people, like the promoters, the people that organize the events, what are some of those challenges they face to deliver on time, or to deliver exactly what the supporters want to get economically when it comes to deliver that thing they want on time? What are some of those challenges they face?
Well, there's lots of challenges, and it's not also just about delivering on time, but
Yes.
basically delivering a good show.
Good show, yes.
Yeah, and most of the time the problems have been just between themselves. There's greed,
Yes.
and then there's a lack of mutual respect. Because of greed, you find that someone is insisting I must do my thing, and it doesn't matter if somebody else fails. And that's not a good spirit, you know, because you need to figure out a win-win.
Yes.
And then secondly, there's that lack of mutual respect, that when someone says, you know what, because I'm having a concert this side of town, I would appreciate if you can hold your concert maybe another end of town, so that the two don't conflict. Again, they've not been respecting that sort of basic understanding.
Yes.
Yeah, but then there are also secondary problems. Obviously, we've had issues around security. Terrorists and other people that are not big fans of peace tend to also take interest in the peak season, and they pose a huge risk. You remember some of them, like last year, there was that concert at Freedom City,
Yes.
where people crashed. Some people think
for
that
Alien Skin?
no, not Alien Skin.
Yes.
There was the one of Abitex.
Yeah, where people died.
Yeah, where people died.
Yes, yes,
yeah.
yes.
So there's an issue of security. It's a huge challenge for promoters in a good and bad way. In a good way is they sometimes really mean to make all the necessary effort to prepare a concert that is safe. But the challenge is that it's very expensive to really
Yes.
ensure that everything is in place. For example, the requirements for a safe stage are really high. The requirements for a safe venue and event in general.
Yeah.
You need to have ambulances in place. You need to prepare.
Every concert has to have an ambulance?
Yes, it's standard when you have a certain minimum of number of people,
yes.
a crowd.
Yes.
As standard security requirements, you need to have some kind of emergency evacuation
Yes,
option. So an ambulance is supposed to be standard for large events. It's supposed to be on standby because people could be injured.
Yes.
Someone could faint from excitement or from being crushed.
Yes.
So, and then these things are quite expensive. You need to have hundreds of barricades for crowd control.
Yes.
And all this costs money, and that's eating into potential profits. So security is a big challenge. Then we also have the issue of the security organs as well. There are too many of them, and each one of them needs to be taken care of.
Yes.
And this increases the cost. You find that you have to have all these expensive dogs that need to go and sniff the place to ensure that there's no bombs.
drugs, yes.
These are expensive to pay for. Then you need to have anti-terrorism, you need to have bouncers.
Wow.
While you have, because security at concerts is in multiple layers. There's outside the venue
Yes.
to protect people who are coming to the event and leaving the event, to make sure they don't get robbed and they don't get taken advantage of as they are getting to the venue.
Yes.
Then there's security at the actual perimeter of the event. That's another layer.
Yes.
Then there's the security
Next
right
to
there
the
at the
stage.
perimeter, but on the inside.
Yes.
And then there's security next to the stage. All these cost money.
So these are things as viewers we never actually
you
look at
kind
and
of take them
consider.
for
Yes.
granted, but
Yes.
you know, when one of them goes missing, that's when you notice
Yes.
that something goes wrong. For example, at the Abitex concert, all these layers were not fully taken care of.
Yes.
There was no, I think, if they had a very clear evacuation plan, a traffic management plan. A traffic management plan is supposed to guide the fans on how they come in,
And how they
how
go
they
out.
exit, and how they exit when there's an emergency, because that's also very different from how they exit when things are normal.
Yes.
You know, because then alternative options need to come up. So you find that trying to check all the boxes to ensure that you have a perfect event comes at a huge cost, you know, both in finances, but also in human resource. So yes, it's quite difficult, and these are the challenges the promoters go through.
Oh, those are quite many challenges for them to face. And what are some of the factors that influence the demand for seasonal entertainment in December?
Seasonal entertainment in December is mostly influenced by the nature of how we celebrate the festive season.
Yes.
Yeah, there are calendar events that are already marked. Most people know them, starting with the small ones that happen in clubs and bars. For example, right now there's the White Party. You know, these calendar events are already on the minds of people, and people expect to be a part of them. So these are part of the whole process. And then there is, of course, the usual, the general calendar activities like Christmas. All these people, there are people who don't go out the whole year, and then they're just looking.
They decide December is the time for me to go out.
Yes, they're looking forward to the big days. So again, that's another aspect that influences the festive season, and pretty much those are the core factors that affect that.
Yes, thank you so much. And of course, what are the pricing strategies for entertainment? Because you look at the seasonal entertainment is different from the normal entertainment, because we usually have Easter, we have New Year's, we have Boxing Day, we have Christmas. So these seasons are different from the normal seasons. So how are the pricings? Are they usually the same, or they are a little different?
Well, the pricings are obviously very different. The pressure is much higher to deliver much more during the festive season. And we've also built some kind of bad culture of expecting too many artists. I think that, I don't know why the promoters have been doing that, but it's now a trap that we have set ourselves up for. You find that if you bring one very good artist, people feel like they are being cheated. And those expectations were created by the promoters themselves. And so you find that in this season, you have to book so many artists to show that your event is serious. And obviously booking so many artists at a premium time is going to cost a fortune. And when it costs a fortune, you have to pass that cost back to the fans. That means ticket prices have to go up, and then also other related expenses have to go up. Meaning every artist has what they call a technical rider, which is a list of expectations in preparation for their performance. And these things come with, you know, at a cost. So these affect the overall expenses towards organizing these events. And when these expenses are high, also the ticket prices have to be high. But sometimes these prices go up, and then the costs go up, but then there's only so much that fans can pay. And then you find that promoters are stuck. Costs have gone up, they cannot charge more than a certain amount, and they have to suffer the consequence of small margins. So these are some of the dynamics that affect the pricing.
Okay, so which kind of events are mostly common during these December seasons? Like the events, are they usually musical or carnival or movie-like? Which ones, like comedy?
Festive season is a floodgate. Everything is out there, you know. But that everything is determined by what has already been influencing the most success in the entertainment industry. Right now, it's mostly concerts and comedy. Those are the biggest. And then of course, there's now drama and theaters. They're also very busy in the same season, and the cinema. But concerts seem to draw the biggest crowds. And concerts and comedy sometimes often worked in tandem.
So are there any concerns about the potential negative impacts of the December season entertainment?
Yes, there are some concerns, mostly security related. We've been warning about some of these things every year, and but there's a tendency to ignore these warnings because many promoters are under pressure to try and turn a profit in the season. And sometimes the only way you turn a profit is by cutting corners. Yeah, so the risks are mostly around there, trying to balance between turning a profit and trying to put up a good show, a professional event, you know. So like I explained earlier, when it comes to considerations for security, sometimes someone will try and skip one or two things they could have done to make sure. Because you find that in a venue, maybe you need 500 barricades, outside, inside, what, then you decide, you know what, I'll skip some barricades and just have them maybe at the stage. But you see those barricades that you skipped outside, if there's an emergency, they are the ones that are going to cause the chaos, and because there will be no traffic management, the flow of traffic of human beings will be hard to control. So in that chaos, that's when bad things happen.
Wow, thank you so much. So we are going to put a pin in that, and of course we are going to take a very short break. We are going to be back with Business Insight, and please do not change the channel. We'll be right back.